family. Clearly by now, many of you have already heard that Michael K. Williams has passed away. And of course, I immediately always reach out to Dr. Carr when things happen because I always want to know. Since we got the language now, I'm looking at the social structure
Mm.
itself out in the stories, uh, talking about drugs and all this other stuff. But that's who he is to you. It's not who he is to us. And so I wanted to shape and frame and center Michael K. Williams through the governance structure.
Mm.
So that's why I reached out and I wanted us to go live to talk about it here where we can have a safe space to really have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I first, I interviewed him in 2019. I just reposted the interview we did on YouTube. And unassuming guy in the hallways at Sirius XM. There's always a hustle and bustle of celebrities coming through, and he's just a regular guy who just was so humble and so beautiful. And the conversation we had just confirmed what I knew about him already. I didn't watch The Wire. I was not one of the people that was part
Ah,
of the culture, so
interesting.
I was not in when everybody else was in because I had just watched The Corner, which came out before, and I was like, I do not want to be in that headspace with Black folk with this, minstrel showing of who we are through the lens of something. Yeah, like inherently, I just felt like I didn't want to watch Black people and drugs in Baltimore again. I just watched The Corner, so I rejected it as I'm a contrarian. But I did see him as Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire,
Yes,
which, where he played a gangster, but a gangster with range and everything, just wanted the most for his children, for his community. And I loved him in that. And there was a role in 12 Years a Slave. And he's like in there so briefly, but he captures the whole entire screen in that one. And the director, I think I talked to the director, not the director, I talked to somebody involved with the film, and they said that he begged to be on that to just be a part of that, which I thought was interesting. A man who clearly could do all of the things. And of course, When They See Us. Um, and then, of course, Lovecraft Country. Damn, damn. Yeah. So I'm saying all this to say, number one, this space on this side of the world, on this side of things called life, is very short. So we should do all of the things while we're here, and not waste it. Also, now we have another ancestor, and you have helped me reframe death in a way that I never imagined, that I don't mourn it the same way because of you. I
shame.
see it as transition, and we've done many classes where you've talked about that underwater. And I mean, it's just, it's just really helped me see the transition. And you talk about it transitioning, and now they transition to being an ancestor. Very powerful. So
Mm.
um,
That's shame.
so as a theater person, at your core, but also,
Mm.
what are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is I'm glad we have this space to have a conversation like this, and that everybody can join in real time. I've got the other screen up here. I usually don't have the computer screens open, but I got this one up because I'm over here in Newbian. We see everybody joining. It's good to see y'all. See some of the regulars. Oz is in here, and Brian Harris. Oh yeah, good to see everybody. Kim Parks, and then yeah, Monica. It's good to see y'all. This is exactly the vision. So thank you for this, first of all. And see Reyes is in the space, obviously, with the black fist, Nubians Unite. So that's number one. And I was just talking with my mother and sister in Texas. Today's her 93rd birthday. So we were talking.
Wait,
And
today's your mama's birthday? We
yeah,
got to do
yeah,
just more than that. I
yeah.
mean,
No,
come on.
no, I mean, we all. It's interesting. You say, I mean, I was talking to her, and then
Wait. Your mother's a Virgo?
yeah, I don't look. You bet.
That makes all. No, I just finished having a session with Sam Reynolds
Uh-oh.
because we're doing a whole in Nubia. He's doing a lot astrology.
Yes, yes. What are you about to teach us, Professor Hunter? What you about to teach me, and then everybody over here? Tell me.
Special connection, the Virgo and the Taurian, like
Oh,
your mother. I think that makes so much sense to me.
really?
is a Virgo. Oh
See,
my goodness.
see, you're helping me. I didn't even realize that. That's
There's almost a yin and a yang.
mm,
It's similar sensibilities.
mm-hmm.
It's gonna be that same kind of righteous indignation.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
know your mother probably's like, ooh, and there's a rigidness. Like there's a line. Like you're gonna do this, this, and that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, she is, but also very loving, very.
oh my God,
But
yeah.
but you're right. Principled to the, in fact, it was so funny. She was telling me a story about she's in Houston with my sister and brother-in-law now, but they went to Nashville about a month ago, and she was telling me about being in a church. My brother, my brother's a minister, so he apparently she was saying, these young people, they don't know the old songs. So she was saying they were having this service and everybody, and then she said from the far corner of the church, one of the elders got up and started doing that long meter hymn, a charge to keep I have. And she said they can't be still on that one. They didn't even know it, but that thing, it just went through them. And it was like, and I said, boy, I started thinking about a charge to keep I have. I said, boy, now that's one of the good ones, ain't it, Mom? But anyway, as we were talking, then I saw your text, and we had been on the phone for a while. Plus, everybody calling, my cousins and them. So I said, I'm gonna get off, Mom, and so you can get the rest of these people. I'll call you later on in the week. And when I saw the text, your text, I said, man, Michael K. Williams. And of course, everything came flooding back. So that I'm glad we're having this conversation and everybody's here, because there's just so many thoughts, and maybe we can maybe just throw some things out, and the two of us, and then we looking in the chat if folks are bringing in. I never experienced his performances as performances, and I think it's quite striking that by his own account over the years and interviews and comments, him being born around the same time as us, being basically part of what my buddy Bakari Katwana, who wrote one of the early kind of journalistic form books on hip hop, the hip hop generation, calls the hip hop generation. And I tease Bakari, as I've said before, because I say you put the hip hop generation as being born in the mid 60s, because that's when we were born. He said, no, but that's true. But also because, we came of age then. Of course, Michael K. Williams came of age in the hip hop generation coming out of Brooklyn. So by the time, we're in Nashville listening to Grandmaster Flash and listening to Sugar Hill Gang and Sequence and all that stuff in the late 70s, coming to the early 80s. He's living that, as we know, he's a dancer. He was auditioned for all the hip hop videos, and he born and raised Brooklyn, as you say, Brooklyn, do or die. At the same time, his mama is Barbadian. So the youngest of 10 children. And he's talked about the fact that, around his family dinner table, getting your green card was a big deal. He watched his mother work. So he had that work ethic of those Africans coming from other places who come to the United States, not because they love America, but because they're trying to help feed their families. They're trying to, I was reading an article today about Venezuela, for example, and we know that Haiti is still going on, and how the remittances are beginning to flow again in Venezuela as the United States tries to choke off their current political leadership, and how that's stabilizing the economy. And it just, constant reminder to so many of us who are people of African descent, who were either born and raised or raised here in the United States, are first generation people coming to in America, and that part of what we do is we're supporting our families from other places. But he grows up with that Afro-Caribbean sensibility in a very African Caribbean borough. I joke all the time, the People's Republic of Brooklyn would be more at home in the Caribbean than it would be at this point in the U.S. mainland. But he grows up in the hip hop generation. So he's a dancer. He's into the stuff, and then for a guy like Tupac, who he meets because he's auditioning, and there was a movie in 1996, Bullet. Mickey Rourke was the lead. And this comes 4 years after Juice, that Tupac was in, which is his transition into films, although Tupac had a background in theater, and so it going to that performing arts high school, this was Baltimore. And so, but Michael K. Williams didn't have that training. And the thing that gets him put on the track to the screen, big and small, is Tupac seeing a photograph of him, because as Michael K. Williams would tell in the interviews, you know, they audition you to dance in the hip hop videos. If it was a movie, they just basically tell you to stand up against the wall, they take your picture, move on, and people go through headshots and react. And what Michael K. Williams said, Tupac said was, hey, go find this dude. He looks thugged out enough to play my little brother. Fast forward to where we are right now. He looks thugged out enough to play my little brother. That's damn near Michael K. Williams' epitaph. I think he spent his entire public-facing life in a war against what the social structure wanted him to be in these roles. What he knew from the governance structure, including his own struggles to try to communicate, because he would often say in interviews and other places, I'm trying to show the complexity of people in these roles that this society looks past, or stereotypes, or creates. I think that Michael K. Williams fought that. And maybe we can pause here. I'd like to know what you think. Then we can walk through some of his roles and some of the things he said about them, especially after that first season of The Wire, when he loses damn near everything, goes on cocaine. He's used to people shouting him out in the street as Omar, not Michael K. But I mean, what do you make of his art?
You know, we had a conversation on Saturday about colorism.
Yes.
And, you know, his mom was from Bahamas, from Nassau.
Bahamas, not Barbados. I mean, not Barbados.
The Afro-Caribbean, to me, you know, where they dropped us off matters not. You know, we are all one under the SUN and SON. You know, but I think about being a Black man with a scar on his face, you know, with talent, you know, and being pigeonholed as that always, when he had so much range. And we saw the range in Omar, because I was tasked to actually watch The Wire, so I binge watched it in like 1 week.
Really?
All of this, yeah.
Oh no,
I'm hurting, you know. But I lost a bet, so I had to watch all of it. And I made
Lord,
I bet would watch The Color Purple in Malcolm X. They got the good end of it, because to watch The Wire as in one sitting like that, yeah. It's not recommended.
Even that season where they went on the docks and tried to bring the Europeans into it and the Greeks and but that season 4 in the public school systems, I don't think I'll ever recover for that, because I worked in public education and I still doing on the periphery. That was too close.
Oh, it was
to exactly how it is in those.
You know, I mean, but you think about a man like Michael K. Williams, who, you know, art imitating life, always constantly pulled into this space, and then the mental health aspect where we're just trying to find some relief from this criminal enterprise that we're under, that's constantly making us question every single thing about ourselves, our talent, our intellect, the thing, you know, our very being. And then you're looking for solace somewhere, and people don't understand you, because then we got our own folk with their anti-Blackness that they bring into the space, and then we're fighting each other, you know. And it's a lot. And he was a sensitive guy, you know. The little bit of time I got to spend with him,
yes,
what I saw was somebody with character and a soul, a sensitive soul. You know, when he was talking about the father that he played in When They See Us, and the connection to that role for him, you know, it's like this guy had depth. And that Lovecraft Country,
yeah.
You know, I mean, from Omar to Lovecraft Country, you could just kind of draw a line.
And Montrose Freeman role was very powerful. And of course, in the book, Montrose Freeman survives, and that makes the cancellation all the more poignant,